Hey everybody, Douglas Blair Roberts here, the Super Beta 400, the brown skin humor. Come back at you with a new type of video intro, and this is another tribute. Praise, salute, and approval video intro of awesome YouTubers, content creators, and just awesome people in quote unquote general. Yeah, this is vastly similar to my tribute to the deceased people, but I decided to do a whole nother one for YouTubers and content creators and other awesome people who are of course still alive and in my opinion doing great things. And the very first one on this list, which the link will be in the description box below, and the larger video will follow this one, and that is my salute and praise of Predator, Poachers, and CC units. Yeah, these are quote unquote, as you heard from the titles, these are movements and groups of peoples in YouTube channels, YouTube and social media channels dedicated to exposing pedophiles, child diddlers, predators, and getting them out and doing everything in their power to get them off the street, whether it's getting them to admit to their wrong and promise and embarrassing and humiliating them and traumatizing them so they'll never do it again, or if the person, he or she, mostly he, is uncooperative, they can just call the police. They can get their license numbers. They can just call the police and let the police take them and get them off the street, which is usually how most of their episodes end. It rarely ever ends the first way, with the person admitting he or she, mostly he was wrong. The very first one, which will actually be part of my Doug talks and rants, political stuff, political and current event stuff, current and past event stuff. My first one, the one that got me into this, was the popular YouTuber EDP445 being exposed as a pedophile, as he was, quote, as the memes say, he was caught in 4K trying to meet up with a little girl for sex, which he hilariously claimed, which is now a meme, that he tried to meet her for a cupcake. But yeah, this got me. While it was handled poorly, because EDP445 is still free and not in jail, I love what they did. I love the interrogation and how they straight up owned, exposed, and humiliated him live on TV. I would never condone public humiliation and bullying like that, but if you're a pedophile and a child diddler and a creep with no sympathy, you deserve it, man. You deserve it. I wish they would have finished it, and wish they would have called the police and got him off the streets. He's still roaming free. Now he's banned from YouTube and other social media platforms, but he's on Instagram and TikTok, which angers me. But my full-length rant on him will be in the description box below. There'll also be a short narration on my Doug A798 channel for people like for people who want to see the for people who want to see the long version. For people who want to see the narration picture version. I'm not sure if I'll use EDP445's picture though. May just use a movie or video cartoon of mine. A picture of a movie, video game, or cartoon of mine. I don't know. But anyway, that's what this intro is. So with that being said, let's get started right now. everybody, it's time for another Doug's Praise and Salute. And this time, this is my salute of the various predator catching vigilante groups. And the two I'm going to talk about, are the Predator Poachers, and the CC unit. The CC unit. I've been they had multiple channels across YouTube and fan pages on Facebook and on their various shows. They quote unquote pose as minors. They quote unquote pose as minors online. They quote unquote pose as minors and decoys online, and the victims, the predators themselves who prey on kids, the sexual predators who prey on kids, buy into it, and actually meet them at the place they were chatting with the decoy. They were chatting with the decoy at, and get caught red-handed, and the predator poachers talk it over with the victims, talk it over with the predators, and get them to cooperate and stop. What they're doing. And if they don't cooperate and stop what they're doing, or if they look like people who are just unsympathetic and won't cooperate or won't stop, they call the police immediately. And they screenshot everything, so that way they can't delete any form of They can't delete any form of quote unquote messages. They can't delete any form of messages, man. It's one of the most entertaining YouTube series around, and these are two of the coolest groups of all time. This is something I would like to do, and I'll talk more about that, me doing a profession like this, at the end of this video right here. But this is one of the coolest, like I said, this is one of the coolest things, ever. Of course, I became interested in this thing after the whole EDP-45 caught in 4K controversy from last year. I can't believe it's been a year since that incident happened, quote-unquote incident happened. And EDP-445, to this day, I'm angered that he got away, but I'm happy that Alex Rosen, who also got exposed for being a racist and just a despicable person, I'm happy that he is still doing his thing with Predator Poachers. His YouTube channel is gone, but he's still doing his thing with the Predator. He's still involved in doing his thing with the Predator Poachers, man. Just because he did some stupid stuff on a live stream, I don't think he deserved to lose his channel and be banned from YouTube like EDP-445 is. EDP-445 is. Yes, I don't care how bad Chet Goldstein or Alex Rosen is. Yes, this is a salute. So yes, I will always side with Predator Poachers, and I will always side with Alex Rosen, because he's in his daily life, he's a despicable person. He's a despicable person and a racist. But that's my opinion. That's nowhere near as bad as being a child predator. If I was to get in trouble for a crime, I'd rather get in trouble for a hate crime or being a racist or just a despicable person than just being a creep, a predator, a pedophile, quote unquote pedophile. Him and the rest were doing a good service, and you need to be big, strong, kind of racist and a bully when dealing with predators, and especially criminals. But this is about predators. You kind of need to be a bully when dealing with them. The predators be smug, cocky, and arrogant. I can't believe how smug, cocky, and arrogant they used to be. See, I have no affiliation with this religion now, but when I grew up, I was raised as a quote unquote Christian. So I was forced to see the good in everyone, even people who are low down and quote unquote rotten. So when I used to hear about these predator stories and them being dogged, humiliated live on TV or on the internet, wherever they are, seeing them being dogged, being ragged upon, I used to feel sorry for them. They're like, man, no human deserves that. But when I see how arrogant and how smug how smug these predators are and how unsympathetic towards their actions were. See, I used to sympathize with predators not only for the reasons I just said, but I used to think, see, if you're into a kid and want to do all these terrible sexual things to a little kid, or a minor, you gotta be quote unquote sick, man. You gotta be quote unquote you gotta be quote. There's something just not right in the head. There's something right here. No, these are just sick. These are just sick people. These are just sick, disgusting people. These are just sick, disgusting people, and they're smug, and they have no remorse. They have no remorse for what they do. So all the quote unquote bullying, harassment, racial and insults and entrapment they quote unquote deserve. They quote unquote deserve. EDP 445. EDP 445. That everything he got in that 50-minute video, he deserved. He deserved, man. He quote unquote deserved. So yeah. And when it comes to Alex Rosen, yeah, will I hang out with him in my daily life? Probably not. But will I team up? Will I join his team? And will I team up with him to get rid of other predators and the battle? What I can see in people like EDP 445 and these predators and these pedophiles as a bigger evil. Oh yeah, I will team up. I will team up with him to stop a greater quote unquote evil. There was Alex Rosen, the CC unit. He screwed up the EDP 445 case, but just about every other case he's done, he's handled real well. As has Alex Rosen and Chet Goldstein. The other guy, the Hispanic guy. The Hispanic guy is 1,000 from Predator Poachers. He's 1,000 times better. He's 1,000 times better than Alex Rosen. But Alex Rosen is bigger, stronger, and more intimate is bigger, stronger, taller, more intimidating, more quote unquote intimidating. You need a guy like him when dealing with these quote unquote pedophiles, because they're not intimidated. They're not intimidated by CC unit and the Hispanic guy. When you look at these guys, they can be intimidated. The people are intimidated once CC unit and the other guy reveal they have everything, and are about to call the cops. This is where the predators become intimidated. But when you look at them, they're not intimidated. They're intimidated when Alex Rosen, Chet Goldstein gets there. Chet Goldstein, quote unquote, gets there, and that's why you need people like him. Happy to see he's still doing his thing. He's still quote unquote doing his thing despite losing his main channel. He's still on there are a bunch of channels on YouTube. There's one for Toronto which I haven't watched yet. Then there's another one. Then there's the one I watched, PP Mass, which I guess is Predator Poachers of Massachusetts. I guess that's what that one is. That's what that one is. But PP Mass is currently the YouTube channel. The link will be in the description box below. Then you got the other guy, the CC unit, who walks around, who is a brown hair, curly hair kid in a small Jew afro, I think, yeah, in a small Jew afro, in all black attire with white footwear and a giant COVID mask, like a nun, Tibetan monk or ninja walking around like a vigilante, dealing with quote unquote predators with his camera crew for phones and everything. And I just love their process. Like I said, they pose as decoys online. They pose as decoys online to lead these predators out of hiding. Then they meet the predator wherever the predator said we should meet at. They meet the predator there. Then the predators, they be coming there all cocky, smug, thinking they're about to get some pussy, they're at some action, whatever it is they're looking for. Then you see the cocky, smug smiles be slowly knocked off their face. You see the shock on their face, the shock, and sometimes even the nerve. They got attitude when they get caught. And busted in what you call it. There was one Hispanic guy in some skin tight flashy attire, flashy attire who was awaiting a kid, but it was the predator poachers. It was the predator poachers. This guy firstly tried to say it's over and I apologize and go inside, and he kept trying to say that. Even his own mom defended him, and then he wouldn't come out again until the guy started calling the police, and the guy ended up calling and the predator poachers ended up calling the police and taking the guy away. Another favorite of mine involving a drunk Costa Rican guy who was meeting at some gigantic supermarket place ready to get some action night, but instead it was Alex Rosen and the Predator Poachers crew waiting for him, and he wouldn't cooperate all that time. Then even started being mean when they were trying to help him, and then finally, the Predator Poachers, they knocked the smug look off his face when they called the cops. Then he tried to go back and said, please. And then Alex Rosen was like, no, go fuck yourself, man. You had your chance to cooperate. But now it's too late now. Go fuck yourself. Called the cops on him. But I just love it, man. I just love it. They come in here all smug. Like I said, I used to feel sorry for these guys. I think they were just wrong and seriously needed help. But no. These SOBs know what they're doing. They know these predators. They know what they're doing. These predators, they know what they're doing. They don't care. They quote unquote don't care. Then they have no sympathy for what they do. They have no quote unquote sympathy for what they do. And I just love watching the Predator Poachers bully and dominate them and just knock those smug and cocky looks off their faces, which I'm sick of, man. Sick of. And there was another one involving a brown Puerto Rican guy, brown Hispanic. He was some race. I think he was Puerto Rican, named Miguel. Yeah, Miguel, quote unquote Miguel. Came there. He tried to be all cocky when he knew he was caught. He tried to be all cocky and pretended not to care about the Predator Poachers, the Predator Poacher vigilante. He pretended not to care, which is looking at his phone. Then just kept deciding, I'm not going to talk to him, I'm not going to listen to him. Then as soon as they tried to call the police, he tried to take off running. They actually, Predator Poachers actually, and sometimes the Predator Poachers, they can run too. They take off running with the guy and catch up with the guy. And then they did finally. Then Miguel gonna have the audacity to say, "What do you want, man? What do you want with me, man?" And then he said, "I want to talk about this minor you're here." Then Miguel said, "You're not why I'm here. And they're like, "Yeah, I am why I'm here because you sent all these inappropriate photos to me. He managed to get the Miguel guy to stop doing it, even though I think that was a mistake. They should have called the police. That Miguel guy doesn't like he learned his lesson. He looks like that's another thing. Then when they say they're sorry, sometimes, no, you're not sorry for what you did. You're sorry you got caught. That's what you're sorry for. So yeah, these Predator Poacher groups, man, it's awesome. Then the comment sections with their various jokes make it even more hilarious, man. But watching these guys' videos is a perfect way to kill time. So I appreciate these are the two I'm familiar with. I appreciate the Predator Poachers and CC Unit for what they do. These are two different channels, but Predator Poachers and CC Unit both cooperated for the EDP 445 caught in 4K case, which got me interested in the Predator quote unquote poachers, and I'll talk about him in another video, in a separate video. But I gotta salute the Cold Raven. I gotta salute the Cold Raven guy, because it was the Cold Raven guy. Who started this. He was texting. The popular YouTuber EDP445. He was spying on EDP, and spying on EDP was alerting the world, warning the world about who EDP445 really was, what EDP445 really was. He caught EDP445 15 times, but EDP445 just kept brushing off and kept managed to cover himself until I think on the last one he let himself off. He let EDP445 think he was safe. But see, it was Cold Raven who opened up the investigation and allowed professionals like predator poachers and CC unit to finally catch and expose EDP 445. But yeah, it was Cole Raven who opened the gate for it. Everyone deserves credit involved. Only problem I have is that these guys couldn't finish it and get EDP 445 locked up. I hate the fact that bastard is still free. That bastard is still free. Honestly, because like I said in my previous EDP 445 rant video, I was a fan of EDP 445, but it was shocking. It was just shocking and depressing what I saw. That I had to move on from the EDP 445 and put this aside for now and maybe revisit it later. Well, later when I decided to revisit, not only was I mad this guy came back. See, when he got caught, I'm like, okay, he deserves to explain his side of the story and he deserves to apologize, address the world, his fans, and then go get help. Then go get help or go to prison, whichever one. Well, since he didn't go to prison, he's cocky now. And since he didn't go to prison, this idiot had the audacity. This is where any respect I have for him went out the window. And I enjoy any form of roast, bullying, humiliation, any form of meme on EDP 445. I enjoy people reacting, watching, and mocking him online. He deserves all this now because he had the audacity. Instead of apologizing, owning up to what he did, first off, come back like nothing happened. 2, not even address what happened. He continues his daily stupid routines. 4, when he had the audacity to pull an internet tough guy act after crying on camera, talking trash about Cole Raven, Alex Rosen, and CC Unit when he didn't talk shit, say any of this to their face. He avoided all these guys, and he was cooperative throughout the entire he was cooperative and begged CC Unit and Alex Rosen, Chet Goldstein not to call the quote-unquote cops, not the quote-unquote they gonna pull this internet tough guy, acting. Now he's cocky and arrogant because he got off scot-free, man. But now I'll save more for the next EDP 445 rant. I'll never get sick of talking about this bastard. But yeah, so thank you to those 3. And this was so awesome. These predator poachers and what they do, you got to see for yourself. The links will be in the description box below for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. But when it comes to EDP 445, when it comes to the predator poachers and the CC unit, this is pretty cool. If I'm not too busy with all the stuff I'm trying to do in life, I'm not too busy with my other jobs, I would like to join one of these predator catching vigilante groups. I always wanted to be a superhero growing up, and I would love the patrol. I would love to pose as minors online, or at least watch someone else patrol as a minor online. Then together go out and patrol the streets with that person looking for the quote-unquote pedophile. Now hopefully they can settle it. They can settle without violence. But if the guy runs away, or if the guy is actually dangerous, and he doesn't have like a weapon, like a gun style of weapon, I can take him, I can beat him down, and we can show the cops, everything, and get these SOBs off the street like a real life superhero and a real life vigilante, quote-unquote vigilante. So I would love to do something like that, even with the risk involved. That's if I'm not too busy. All my other stuff, projects, jobs, and professions will probably take time away from that. So since I'll be busy with those jobs and professions and activities, I probably won't have the time to patrol the streets looking for busting and looking for child predators. So yeah, this has been my salute and praise of the CC unit and predator poachers. The next one will be the guy who started it all, the Cole Raven, the Baltimore Ravens football fan YouTuber. So with that being said, you want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now.
Together, we won't split up, not ever. See, we are with my friends.